Hi guys, it's Jackie and Mike here with Innocent Armor, and I am so excited about our guest today, Jason Johnson, aka Jason the Knife Thrower. He is a professional combat knife thrower. He's been featured on the History Channel, and you probably have seen him in some of our videos where he was testing the durability of our gear. And so, welcome, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into knife throwing?
It's a big question. Well, I grew up in a small town, you know, and a lot of people that know my story know, oh yeah, he's taught himself how to throw knives and everything. And I've had a few interviews, but I'll basically put it like this. Grew up in a small town with not much to do. You find something to do, and sometimes it can be constructive, sometimes it can be destructive. So I found myself teaching myself how to throw knives. I grew up in a small town, and my dad was a deputy sheriff, and yeah, you end up finding something to do. So outside is where I wanted to be.
So you're completely self-taught?
Yes.
And then tell us a little bit about what you do now.
Well, I was a carpenter for most of my life. I'm almost 40. My birthday's in 4 days, which is crazy.
Hey, early birthday.
Yeah, early birthday, Jason.
Corona birthday.
Well, if anybody has kids, they know how fast time can go. So, but yeah, it's a weird thing. What I do now is basically they regard me as one of the best knife throwers in the world, which is very fun. I'm very honored. I get to throw knives in all the ridiculous fashions, and things that you see on my Instagram page are definitely a little bit unorthodox. And I guess it's garnered a lot of notoriety for what I do, and being able to basically teach somebody how to throw a knife effectively with power from anywhere, with anything with the point. So I've done a lot of work with special forces groups, police officers, different guys, all the way down to little kids and little girls and stuff. Teaching little kids is some of my favorite thing because they're so impressionable. And so I just get to basically travel around and teach people how to throw knives for fun, and then be able to defend themselves with the knife as well. So
that's really cool. And then tell us a little bit about your knives. So you design and sell knives, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm the designer of the saber tooth, and now I'm the maker of it. I had commissioned them to be made into production, but you know what they say, if you can't find them, grind them and make them yourself. This is actually a baby tooth. This is my personal carry. This is the smaller of the two, and this is just a basically a form and function, single edge, straight blade, straight handle. You can't mess it up. So I do a few things with that to make it my own. It's a 1/4 inch 5160 blade, and it's probably about a half a pound, even though it's only about 9.5 inches long. So very formidable blade, and the larger ones are about 12.5 inches as well. So I've actually transitioned into making these knives myself after some tutelage from a friend of mine. If you've ever seen the show Forged in Fire, Travis Wirtz is the Forged in Fire master champion. He's also the guy that makes the grinders that I use to make my knives, and he's taught me a lot in the last 6 months. I've been making knives for less than a year, and I've been throwing knives my whole life. But with the tutelage of Travis, I'm able to make things like this. So this is a coffin handle modified Bowie. This is the trailing point recurve. And if you can see that blade, it's about 16 inches long. I'll try not to drop this on myself because it's a very razory blade.
That could cost you.
Right.
So leave a mark.
Being able to go into a transitionary state from, you know, yeah, I'm a master carpenter, but being able to have access because of what I do, and people knowing who I am and being on TV shows and stuff, gives me the access to like people like you guys that make the best things in the business, or they make the best grinders, or they make the best gear, and I can reach out to them personally and say, hey, I love what you guys do. I'd love to be a part of it. How can I help?
We love that.
You know, that's kind of how I met you guys, and it's kind of how I got started into knife making, and kind of how I got started into, all of that stuff. So it's been a wild ride.
Well, your knives are gorgeous. Now tell me that you don't throw those knives, right? What type of knives do you throw?
These are the knives I throw. I've actually I throw this knife quite regularly. But yeah, that's what they're made for. I had to make a knife that was strong enough, that would hold up to what I did, and still be able to still be sharp. Let's see if can you see my arm right there? Let's see. See that? It should still be sharp enough to shave.
Ooh, wow. That's impressive.
So they need to be usable, functional tools. That's the thing. That's why, again, like I joined on with you guys, is that form and function is number one. So my knives have to be able to be thrown. I mean, I can throw a saber tooth 30 feet, one rotation through a lot of things. We've seen some of my penetration testing videos, which still amaze me to this day because physics is science and science is awesome. And so, you know, being able to see what I can do. But yeah, form and function's number one. So that's why the knives got to be knives first, just like the gear has to be gear that works. And the gear has to be gear that has form and function in mind at heart, for sure.
I love it. So at any given time, how many knives do you have on you? Or will you not tell?
If he tells you, he might have to kill you.
Right.
Actually, I have as a carpenter, I have a blade for every purpose. Now, am I going to have a blade for self-defense or hard use? Let's just call it hard use. That folds open? Probably not. A fold open knife is probably more going to be in line for the tool aspect of a thing. Like if I have a very sharp knife that has a very thin grind, as a folding knife, I'd want to keep that for a tool to do precision cutting. Let's say if I need it for an emergency medical situation. Look, I have a medical bag, trained to use medical gear in the basic sense. But if I need a very sharp knife, I need to know, well, what if I was beating on my everyday carry knife on something that I shouldn't have been, and now it's not as sharp? Well, now I have, you know what I mean? So a different knife for a different tool. So yeah, I might have a couple. I usually have a flashlight. I usually EDC carry a pistol as well. Because yeah, I mean, there's 800,000 kidnappings or traffickings in this country a year, and we don't want to be one to sit by and let something like that happen in front of us or
Right.
to us.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't think anybody'd want to kidnap me though, but
You never know. You know. But so tell us a little bit about how this Corona mess has affected your business.
well, it's been wild. You know, and you know what they say, one door closes, another opens. So it's kind of like I had all these appearances and all. We were going to do a 2A rally in Las Vegas with those two little old ladies that are so cute. That were going to do a big rally in Vegas right before all that stuff got shut down. And I was actually in Arizona when all this stuff erupted and had to drive through some roadblocks to get home.
Wow.
So I think people were just scared and didn't know what was going on. And then, you know, the wishy-washy words that were going on between leadership, not knowing who was what. So we get home, we hunker down and try to stay safe like everybody else is doing. But basically what it's done is it's taken my business from traveling and doing all these videos and things that I've been doing into, well, everybody's hitting me up because they need a good knife, right? Everybody's got their guns now and their ammo and their toilet paper. Well, we can't cut things with a gun. And if you try, it's kind of loud and not quite as effective as just having a knife. So everybody, it's been crazy. I've been just getting hit up by everybody about, man, I really need a good knife, and what's the price on this? You know, and I make all these knives by hand. I mean, I make every one of them right now. Is that's all I get to do is go work in the garage and go, what day is it? Oh yeah, it's Saturday. Is it Saturday? No, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that.
You're living
So
the
the
dream.
weather,
I love it.
so the weather's at least it's warmed up a little bit, or
Yeah, you know, it's kind of chilly this
that,
morning. I still have
Okay.
my hoodie on. I'm in Nebraska. I know it's warmer in my second home of Arizona. I'd like to be there right now, but yeah, I'm stuck in Nebraska. So summer kind of comes late and usually hits with a vengeance. So we get like the best of all the seasons. We get the coldest winters. We get the most beautiful falls. We get the hottest summers and no rest between. It just goes from one to another. So.
Well, Mike, do you have any questions for Jason?
No, it's just good to catch up with you, Jason. I mean, you are our first influencer. You've really been a integral part of helping us grow our movement. I really appreciate everything you've done.
Oh, I appreciate it just right back, man. I mean, you know, I saw what you guys were doing. I can't remember where I initially saw you guys, but I saw what you guys were doing and I said, that's smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because look, if I have vests, I have gear, I have, you know, and then you've seen me test on different companies, things, and different, because I love everybody equally. I'm all about
you're very objective,
not
which is good. Yeah.
Right. And so, but seeing the personal protection go into a more concealed state is a very good thing, because look, if I'm a lady and I want to I don't want to draw attention. I want to have the option to be discreet.
Right.
And I think that's just such a great thing with everybody. I mean, look at the vest you're wearing. Victor Marx look at the, he's a good friend of mine, great man.
Yeah.
And you know him, and
Yes.
as well, and he's a great guy, and I love the way that his wife wears the vest, the same vest you got on there, and
Yeah.
because it's just so casual, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the same time, nobody knows she's carrying and can
Yeah.
defend herself, and her little ones. So,
Yeah.
and that's a great thing, and I think even in areas where you can't defend yourself, unfortunately, God forbid, that's still a viable option. The best offense is sometimes a good defense, and so.
Right. Well, Jackie's actually wearing a bullet-resistant vest right now.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
she's
what I was
wearing.
referring to.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that
Right.
vest she has on, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that like I said, for ladies and I mean even kids, you know what I mean, having the ability to arm your family. Let's say, I know a lot of people that support guns. Well, how many people do I know that support guns that maybe aren't as good with a gun as I am?
Right.
Because I mean, yeah, I'm known as the knife guy. I'm a knife thrower. I'm quick with the knife, and I do all this stuff. But a lot of people don't know that I actually used to be a competitive shooter as well. And I shoot quick draw, and I shoot black powder, and I do,
Right.
So I've grown up with that. But not everybody who uses a gun is that level of proficient. So it gives them a good peace of mind, and that's what we're talking about here. Does it work? Hell yes, it works. Does it give you a peace of mind? Absolutely. So that's what we're talking about.
The nice thing about what we've been able to offer people is they feel a little bit safer wearing our gear. We have it's a wide spectrum of people that are wearing it now. We have a 71-year-old grandma who bought it because she wants to wear it to the grocery store.
Right. Well, let me tell you a little story real quick, if I can tell all of our audience members a story. A friend of mine that I know, and I'm not going to say his name, you might know who he is, had received and taken fire from somebody while they were going out eating. I guess they were in their car, something happened, and basically it goes down like this. He was very justified and had a good shoot, self-defense shooting, and the guy felt very bad for the kid that he had to shoot, as I would. Because if we're students of martial science, we're students of culture, we understand how someone could be in this situation that they would be shooting at us. Right. So it's not without compassion. But what he did was he did what he had to do to put his family in safety mode.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. His lady and him both took fire.
Wow.
Okay. So just because you have a gun, you're quick on the draw, you're this or you're that, does not mean that you won't get shot at. Most of the I call it the oh crap moments, as I teach people, most of your oh crap moments happen within 10 feet or less, and it's a surprise because, as we know, evil is always cowardice. They will never come right up to you and say, "Stand and deliver, sir." They won't. So that's one thing that is a very, very big eye-opener to a lot of people, is that sometimes you're going to get shot whether you want to be or not, or whether you're aware or prepared or whatever. That's why medical training is so important. Look, if you don't know how to take a shirt off and make an improvised tourniquet, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
true. Well, we are less than a minute, so I will let you go, but I wanted to thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be in touch soon, I'm sure. And thank you for everything that you do.
I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Jason.
And absolutely love supporting it, Michael. We'll see you again soon, and and
take
you
care
guys as well.
Stay safe.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.